This video is brought to you by Old Spice. Hold my beer, I gotta piss like a racehorse. Old Spice. What's up, YouTube? Thedagem here with the next installment of the Ultimate Counselor Guide for F13. This lesson is one that I found scattered around in different videos, but I'm combining all the knowledge I have to bring you this. Tommy86 did a video and a blog a long time ago about how to tell where the Tommy Jarvis house is. The link to that material is in the description below. I'm Just Dizzy did a great video on some of the items that I'm going to cover here, and a link to that is down there as well. I found these two resources within the first few days of owning this game, and they still hold up. These are good resources, and I don't intend on replacing them, just adding to the conversation. Today, we're going to talk about the opening scene. Some new players can be heard in the lobby saying, "I wish you could skip that. It's the same dumb thing every time." Well, that's not at all true. You can learn a lot by paying attention to the opening scene. Let's start with Higgins Lodge. As we've previously discussed, the large maps have 4 separate variants, and for Higgins Lodge, no matter what that variant is, you have a greater than 50% chance that the Tommy house is either in Stillwater Camp or Evergreen Camp. The Tommy house can only ever be in a cabin with 2 doors, a large cabin. Those single-door cabins will never house Tommy Jarvis. And between those 2 camps, Evergreen and Stillwater, there are more cabins there than in any other camp. There are either 3, 4, or 5 large cabins, and they're all controlled by one power box, and this depends on the map variant. Blair's Cove only has 2 large cabins for the most part, 3 on map D, and Higgins Camp has only 1, and if it's map D, it has none. So the power box in Evergreen or Stillwater is almost always the one that Jason will take out first, and the one the counselors should be fixing to get Tommy called in. But there's more. What if I told you that you could know for certain before the match even starts if the Tommy house is in either of those 2 camps? Because you can. The cutscene shows the tower nearly every single time. There is only 1 cabin in these 2 camps that it doesn't get shown in the cutscene, and if you're paying attention, that tower is right out in the open for all to see. If you don't see the tower in the opening scene, chances are it's in Blair's Cove. Let's take a look at some opening scenes on Higgins. Okay, great, Thedagem, we can see the Tommy Tower, but I already knew that. What else you got? Okay, Craig, calm down. I can tell you a lot. For example, look here. That's a health spray on the dock down at Stillwater. There's another one by the campfire at Evergreen, and is that a pocket knife? I know that if I start up here in Evergreen, I'm going to go get that. It gives me a head start against Jason. I can now pick that trap on the Tommy box, or the phone, or the car. Hell, I can even just get grabbed once. And look, there it is, right where I said it would be, right where it was in the opening. What else can we find? Ooh, look at that. A gun. I'll take that. Let's look at one more. What do we see so far? Okay, well, we see there's a health spray on the dock at Stillwater. The Tommy house is in Evergreen. We know we're on map A, so that means the phone's in Stillwater Camp. We're likely to find the fuse up at Evergreen, and Jason's shack is on the island. Wait, what? How the hell do you know all that? Well, let's watch it again. See that power box? It's only ever there on map A. But you learned the maps last week, so you knew that, right? You do know that, right? Well, no you didn't, but now you do. If you see this power box, it tells you a ton. The fuse belongs in Stillwater. You'll find it in Evergreen. Jason's shack is on the island. We know a ton of information, and the match hasn't even started. Pay attention to this opening scene. You'll be a much better counselor. But keep in mind, Jason can see all this shit too. You can also identify the map by the cabin configurations up in Evergreen. If you really study the opening, you can tell the map variant by where the cabins in the background are located. But I'd be lying if I said I were any good at this point. So I have no tips to offer you other than pay attention and learn what you can. Play the offline bots, just repeat the opening scene over and over and see if you can spot the map variant from this. You're doing a better job than I am at this point if you can. but I am working on it. That's enough Higgins for me. Let's do Packanack. Here are the maps that Tommy86 made. I'll show them one at a time. Okay, what do we know? Well, we know there's only 2 cabins that can hold the Tommy Jarvis radio that we see in the opening scene. We can only spot the Tommy house if it's up on Hodder's Path or north of the lodge, and the chances of seeing it on Hodder's Path are slim. Due to rendering time and rain and whatnot, I almost never see it in the opening scene. Packanack North, however, you can see. And the chances of spotting the tower for Packanack, they might be smaller than on Higgins, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't be paying attention. You can still see the items on the picnic tables here. In fact, Dizzy's video focuses on these picnic tables almost exclusively, and I took that information and ran wild with it, brother. You should be paying attention to this. There's usually 2 or 3 people who start out by the lodge. Be the counselor who knows there's a knife or a gun and go get it. Not to be selfish, don't push people out of the way. Just try to be the counselor Jason can't kill. You can do it. But, there's more. Let's watch another one. What if I told you we're on Map C? The cabin is in the middle of the woods, behind the S-Bend Road. The phone is up on Hodder's Path, and you'll likely find the fuse for it in the main lodge or in Flat Rock. I won't keep you waiting for how I know all that. Look here. Did you see that? That's not Tommy. Those sparks, well, that's the phone. See this cabin here? The one in the background? That means you're either on map C or D. Remember, this cabin is across the street on map A and B. You won't see it in the background if you're on one of these 2 maps. The inclusion or exclusion of this cabin in the background tells you where Jason's shack is with 100% accuracy. And the match hasn't even started. If you see sparks up on Hodder's Path like this, great. This cabin in the background confirms what you just saw. If not, and this cabin is still here, then you know it's up in Woodbury Camp. And we know for maps C and D that those top 2 cabins in Woodbury, their proximity to one another will confirm the map variant and the phone's location. This cabin in the background, whether it's here or not, tells you where the shack is and narrows down the phone's location from 4 possible spots to 2 before the match even starts. You do not need the preparedness perk. Maps are great, but they're everywhere. Free up that perk slot. Learn the maps and get the advantage that you would get by starting with a map all in your head. The rest can wait till you find one. Okay, let's do Crystal Lake. This one is a joke. If you squint as hard as possible and slow down space and time, you might be able to make out that red dot, but probably not. So instead, look for items at this campfire. That's about all you'll ever see. Most players don't know that you can even ever see this thing in the cutscene. I mean, I know that you can, but to be truthful, I think I've only ever spotted it like once. So I do try because you can get lucky, and it's not like I have anything better to do. Knowing the Tommy House location is probably better knowledge for Jason, but practice is never a bad thing. You can spot items, the phone house, and the Tommy house on lots of maps, not just the large ones. You can spot them on the small maps as well. For example, Higgins Small, although it has 6 variants instead of 4, you can spot the Tommy house if it's either in Blair's Cove or Evergreen Camp. And you can spot health sprays and weapons on the porch sometimes too. You can spot the Tommy house or the phone on Crystal Lake Small if it appears along Cunningham Road. But this is the only cabin that you'll ever see to help you with these 2 objectives. Keep an eye on that one cabin. And maybe that lifeguard chair. You might see a health spray. Unfortunately for Packanack Small lovers, you can never spot the Tommy house in the opening scene. So it's items only. Keep your eyes open and look at those picnic tables. You may spot something you want. Jarvis House, unfortunately, is another camp you'll never see the Tommy house on. So, items only, you guys. Keep your eyes peeled. Pinehurst allows you to see the Tommy house if it's in Mulholland Camp or Turtle Pond. Both of these camps are powered by the same power box too, so learn where this is so you can turn it back on. I've provided the tower guide that Tommy86 put together, and it shows a lot more than I cover here. This video would literally be hours long if I continued. I just wanted to show you the 3 maps that we've gone over in previous videos a bit more exclusively, as well as give you a sneak peek of some of the maps that are going to be in future videos. Because we already learned these maps and have already done the knife walkthroughs, those 3 maps so far on my channel have been kind of the main focus as far as learning the maps go, and although I do plan to put together guides for the small maps and the other 2 maps in the future, I have a ton of footage I'll need to capture in order to do a decent job, so bear with me. Until then, reading through this guide is a good idea if you want to become a better player. Check out the links in the description below and take your game to the next level. Be that counselor who always knows where to go, and you will win more games. Huge side note, I've been doing a bit of streaming lately as a means to reach out to more of you in person. I'd be happy to chat with you guys and answer any questions you might have, but I'm taking my streaming to Twitch. I figure that way I can keep my YouTube channel more polished and planned out, and my Twitch stuff will be more live and off-the-cuff, unplanned type stuff. If you want to follow me on Twitch, I've got links in the description below. My tag, of course, is Thedagem, and I'd be more than happy to have you along for the ride, no matter what game I'm playing. I hope you found this guide entertaining as well as useful. I love F13, and if I can get one more player out there excited to play this game again, all the work I put into these videos is worth it. And if that player is you, let me know in the comments below. I hope to see you in a match soon. Until then, stay safe out there, you guys. Cheers, and happy Friday.